Hey everybody, it's time for a new video, and yeah, this is going to be somewhat of a game pickup video, but I will give some recommendations for some Wii games as well. In short, it is probably gonna end up being more like a vlog, because there are a couple of things that I do want to talk about, and also today I don't have like a ton of time to actually edit a video, so this is probably the easiest thing to do for me at the moment. Because yeah, I kind of want to go to the gym later today and also need to do some game development work. Really in the mood to make some pixel art. So yeah, capturing like audio or capturing video footage for these games is maybe a little bit too much work today. So I will show some games that I've picked up, but yeah, there's not going to be any gameplay footage. It is what it is. But like I said, there are also a couple of other things that I do want to talk about and share with you. So yeah, I picked up a couple Wii games. Yeah, I'm very excited about these Wii games because the list of games that I kind of want to get for the Wii is yeah, rather slim, maybe 10 or 15 or so. And actually a while ago, I kind of removed a couple of games from that list. I think it was mostly like the Spider-Man games because I already own them on the Xbox 360. Kind of wanted to get them on the Wii as well, just to compare those two. But yeah, they are maybe a little bit like too expensive, and I kind of wanted to slim down that list. Anyway, yeah, I'm planning on giving some recommendations for some Wii games as well because I do have like a couple of stacks here next to me. Not gonna show all of them. Probably make some more videos. The reason why they are on the floor at the moment is because I need to clean them up. Most of these were actually on the shelf where my Xbox 360 games are as well, and some PlayStation 2 games, and yeah, for the most part, like the GameCube titles. But I kind of wanted to make some space for GameCube titles, so I had to remove these Wii games. But now the problem is that I don't have any place to put them, so I placed them on the floor. Problem solved. For a while, I'm okay with that, but after a couple of weeks, it's starting to annoy me, and I really need to think about like a plan, because the overflow of games are always going into like these like big Tupperware boxes, but those are full as well. But that's a different problem that I will deal with at a later date. Just gonna postpone the problems. But yeah, because the Wii games are here, I was thinking let's recommend a couple and focusing on some horror games. And yeah, there's another problem right now, and I will talk about that also, is this thing over here that has been sitting on the floor as well for a while now. It's my CRT TV, and you can kind of see in the corner there's another one there as well. So is that a problem? Yes, it is, but it's a very nice thing to have like multiple CRT TVs because that is a new one. And yeah, now I have 3 of them, and it's a little bit like too much. So that's also something to, that I do want to briefly talk about maybe. So let's just get started with the games that I've picked up, then go over the recommendations, and shortly go over the TVs, because I'm kind of curious about your opinion with what my plan is for this TV over here. That one. So yeah, let's just get started. The first game, I picked this one up a while ago, but I kept waiting on showing it in the video because, yeah, I just don't have my Wii U set up right now, and my Wii is actually broken, the one that's there. It kind of works, but sometimes it has some issues with reading the discs. That is why last year or earlier this year, I purchased a Wii U again to actually solve the problem, but it's not hooked up, so it's kind of like an hassle to capture the gameplay footage right now, and other reasons. So yeah, the first game is Ko Rinpa for the Wii. Yeah, this one was on my list for quite a while now because I think this is just a fun game to play. It seems rather chill. It's somewhat of a Marble Madness or You need to move along like a marble along like the environment, like the stage to the end. And whenever I search for like a Wii game, I always look at like what did they do with the Wii mode implementation, and do they utilize that controller well? And yeah, this just seems like a perfect fit. So I really wanted to add this one to the Wii collection. Um, but yeah, all the other games that are on the list that I'm still searching for are all third party, because I do have all the first party Nintendo titles. But yeah, this one, yeah, kind of kept missing out on some good deals, but finally found it for 12-ish or so. So that's just seemed like a good deal. And yeah, I think the problem always with this game is that whenever I saw it, it was kind of like busted, damaged, and not like in a very good state. But yeah, happy that I was finally able to find like a proper version. The next game is a horror title, and the Wii is kind of fascinating with horror titles because you do have like the light gun games and some survival horror games, more like the slower paced, the non-light gun games on there. And this is one that is rather expensive. I'm not sure like what the actual price is, but my estimate is around like 30. But yesterday I even saw a version pop up on Vinted for 70 or something like that. But that was the French version, so I'm not too sure if the French version is like rare. I'm not sure. It might actually gone up in price due to like the Halloween, as you know, that stuff happens. But yeah, it's Ju-on the Crutch, and um, I did not pay 50 for this one. I ended up paying 12, and yeah, can't complain at all. It took a while to actually yeah, find this one. Almost pulled the trigger like earlier this year with a listing when it was like around like 30 or so. But yeah, I'm not sure if this is like a good horror game. I just want to have like all the horror games on the Wii, because yeah, there are just not that many. And again, I will show some recommendations that are horror games. But you on the Grudge, kind of yeah, curious about it. The Wii mode, how they use it. From what I could gather so far is yeah, of course the speaker, marvelous quality on that Wii mode speaker. But yeah, the Wii mode is actually the flashlight, and that's kind of like a fascinating thing. Kind of want to see it, but again, I don't think this is like the best horror game out there. But also, the choices of like horror games on the Wii is rather limited. I just don't think this is the best one on the Wii. The next one though is even more expensive than the Grudge, and yeah, with this one I got an amazing deal. Also, definitely didn't want to spend like the usual going price. It is Culling. Always kind of want to say the Culling, but it's Culling. I want to say I paid 8 for this one, but it usually goes around like for 50 or so. It popped out on CEX, and yeah, when I saw it, I pulled the trigger and was very happy that I was actually able to get this one. It's always a question mark with CEX if, from my experience, when you purchase something here, you might have paid for it, but the question is always if they send it out. And yeah, you need to be really lucky, because I have multiple instances in the last couple of weeks where I purchased something and I thought like, oh yes, finally I was able to get that game, and then after 4 or 5 days it was cancelled because someone else purchased it in the store. That's the way how it goes, but yeah, it's definitely yeah, you need to be lucky with CX over here. I'm not sure like how that actually goes for the CX in the UK, for example, if they have like the similar system. I never know what the process actually is, like how they receive orders from online, and if they reserve it or just have it like out in the open. I don't know. Anyway, calling. The Wiimote is kind of like a phone, so sometimes you hear something over the speaker, and that makes it creepy, I guess. Um, yeah, it just seems kind of like a janky horror game, similar to like the Grudge. But yeah, I kind of wanted to have this one, and again, getting these two for maybe 20 total, perfect. Love it, because that's definitely what I wanted to pay, and not really that much more. But yeah, the calling, it is the German version though, but yeah, for 8, I'm not gonna complain about that. Uh, because I don't want to pay 50 for calling. Sometimes I see it for cheaper, but I also don't see it that often. So yeah, very happy that I was able to cross that one off the list. So let's, while we talk about the horror games, let's actually go over a couple of others that you could pick up for the Wii if you want to go for maybe like a horror sub collection. These are definitely not all of them, and if you do have some recommendations, do let me know, because I'm not too sure which ones I am missing at the moment. And one of them is missing from the stack, and that is Project Zero 2. I do own that one. That is the Wii version of Project Zero 2. But that is a first party title, and that is stored away. Also a bit more on the expensive side, around like 60 or 80 or so, depending on like the region and which version it is. This is one that you see quite often. It is Cursed Mountain. I do think like you see it quite often is because it is a decent game, but it's also not that expensive at the moment. Like between like 8 or 12-ish or so. And I think this is the only console version, because there is a PC version, but that is not like available on the Steam store. It might have been like a Windows Store type of deal, but I don't think you can purchase it anymore. But yeah, I do believe like Cursed Mountain was available on the PC. But yeah, here's the Wii version. The next one, it is a very creepy game, but that's mostly due to like the vibe and the sound design and the monster designs. So yeah, I think it belongs like on our horror list, but it's not a survivor horror game. It is Baroque, and yeah, there's a PlayStation 2 version as well, and I think that one is more expensive than the Wii version, if my memory is correct. But this is such a weird and odd RPG-esque. Is it fair to call like a dungeon crawler, like it's first person? You could play like third person or first person. Um, yeah, I think you could call it like a dungeon crawler. It's very creepy. I like the atmosphere in that game, but can't say much about the gameplay itself. Whenever I read upon it or read something about it, people seem like very positive about it. So there's that. The next one is Dead Space Extraction. I love Dead Space, so yeah, had to pick this one up for the Wii. Probably like earlier this year or so. It's around like 15 euros, but yeah, I do recommend this one if you like light gun games, and this one is a little bit more, offers a little bit more depth than the usual light gun games. But yeah, this is a good one. And again, I like Dead Space, and this tells the story that happens before the first Dead Space game, so you can kind of see like what all happens all yeah, before that. My recommendation though is that if you do have like a light gun setup for the PlayStation 3, check out the Dead Space 2 limited edition or the special edition, because that actually comes with Dead Space Extraction on the disc. And yeah, huge improvement when you compare it to the Wii version. That is not me saying the Wii version is bad, but if you do have the ability to play like a PlayStation 3 game, light gun game, do check that one out. And also, if you are interested in light gun games, you are still able to get a couple of like House of the Dead games on the PlayStation 3 on that store. A while ago, I think I purchased like House of the Dead 4 and maybe another one. I think Overkill is also still available on the PlayStation 3. And they are not that expensive though. So, a recommendation within the recommendation. But yeah, Dead Space Extraction. The next one is Obscure 2. I want to say this is not like the best, and the first one is the better game of those two. It is not that expensive. Now I'm not too sure if Obscure 1 is actually available on the Wii. I still need to get like Obscure on the PlayStation 2. A while ago I ordered that one from the CEX as well, but sadly it was a French version, and um, it was also not like in the best state, so I returned that one again. But yeah, Obscure, I never know if it's like good or not. I need to play it. But yeah, Resident Evil. This is, yeah, I think high on the list as a light gun game. Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles. But there's a better Resident Evil light gun game on the Wii, and that is this one. That's the Dark Side Chronicles. I really like this one. It's a pretty cool Resident Evil game. Yeah. What is actually the price? I'm not too sure what the price is for this one. I think most of the Resident Evil games kind of hovers around like 15 or 20. I think this one is a little bit more higher than 20, maybe between 20 and 25. Yeah, let's skip this one first, because while we are still talking about Resident Evil, of course you can't, miss out on Resident Evil 4 for the Wii. I still prefer like the GameCube version, because maybe that's the version that I play like the most. But the Wii edition is, yeah, definitely up there in quality, and yeah, it's a decent version of Resident Evil 4. It's very cool, like that you're able to aim with the Wii mode. This is an odd one because I don't see people often talk about this one, and I have not played much of it, so I'm not too sure if it's actually a good game. But this is a game that really fascinates me because it really feels like a Dreamcast game. It has a very similar vibe to House of the Dead, and just in the art style alone, yeah, it really gives off some Dreamcast vibes. It's hard to explain. But it's Escape from Bug Island. And yeah, why I say it's kind of like House of the Dead or like a Dreamcast game, because it feels like you're playing a B movie. And yeah, this one is with huge insects, and you're on an island. But yeah, it feels like a B movie. And I don't think it's the best game, but I kind of always, when I see this game, I would expect more people would talk about this one, and that it would actually be more expensive. But this one is, I think, around like 15 or so. And from what I've played, maybe like only half an hour, it seemed like a fun game. But yeah, need to play more of this one. The next one I really like. I love playing this one when it came out, and it's Silent Hill Shattered Memories. This is definitely a very nice Silent Hill game, and I never played the PlayStation 2 version, so I can't compare the two. Sadly, I don't own the PlayStation 2 version, but the Wii version, yeah, I like this one. I think it was a very yeah, good story, and I enjoyed my time with this one for sure. The price, though, I want to say around like 60, 60 and up, 60 or 70, around there, thereabouts. But yeah, the final game, I think this is the final game. And again, I might be missing some horror titles. It is not like a list that I have really made, but I do believe I got most of them. But yeah, the final one that I do have, I think, is House of the Dead 2 and 3. Yeah, I just have like a ton of like fond memories of playing House of the Dead 2 on the Dreamcast. A fantastic game. Don't have like that much experience with House of the Dead 3. Now that I think about it, like, yeah, I am missing one, and that is actually House of the Dead Overkill for the Wii, because I do have the physical version on the PlayStation 3, and that made me kind of skip out on the Overkill version of House of the Dead. So that's one of the games that I'm missing from the list. So I'm giving myself a recommendation to actually purchase like or check out House of the Dead. Here's a random one, because it's laying here and I was actually planning on talking about it. This is actually a pickup. Listen, it's a vlog, it's a random. I'm just gonna pick up random games and just show them. Now, this is a recent pickup. Quite happy with it because I did not know that. I I wasn't sure that these games were available on the PlayStation 2. I never checked them out, but it's Monster Attack. So this is the first Earth Defense Force on the PlayStation 2. Um, Earth Defense Force is a game that I always checked out on the Xbox 360. I might have played it on the PlayStation 4 as well. I do own one on the PlayStation 4, but it's a game that I always wanted to play, but never had it. Yeah, never took the time, and yeah, kind of curious to actually play this one to see where it all started on the PlayStation 2. Sadly, it is in a pretty decent state, but there's some damage on the cover. Like there's just a bit missing here. Can't really show it, but it's kind of like minor damage. I can deal with it, but yeah, overall it's in a good state. I think I purchased this one from CX as well with a voucher, so did not pay that much for that one. So random recommendations for the Wii, or just like, hey, these are some horror games on the Wii, some pickups, very happy with those, and a PlayStation 2 title even. And yeah, the final thing that I do want to briefly talk about is actually I got a Sony Triniton over here, that one over here, and it's a TV that I owned for maybe a year and a half or 2 years or so. Was able to pick that one up quite locally. Only had to drive for like maybe like half an hour or so. And when I got this one, this was actually the first CRT. I was searching for a CRT for quite a while. It's a Sony Triniton 25-inch, and yeah, it's a very nice TV, but there are some issues with it though. Like it is working, and I think the what I could gather, like it hasn't been used that much though with the total like hours. Oh. But yeah, there's a small issue that when I got it, I cleaned it up and actually opened it up and used like like an air thing to actually remove all the dust. And from the inside, it looks all okay. Like no capacitors like that have been blown up. But the problem is that the how would you call it, like the geometry of this TV, it is kind of like bended and rotated, and here and there I made some attempts to actually adjust it, but that just meant that some, or in most cases, like the UI is maybe like cut off on the side, or it is not really perfect. I like the image quality, but it is not really okay, and I don't want to mess around too much with those settings. And yeah, from what I could gather, like I'm not an expert. You really need to delve deep and actually be more hands-on on the TV if you want to fix some of those issues, like on the inside. But I don't have any knowledge about that, and not really want to risk my life because it's such a dangerous thing to actually do, especially if you don't know for sure what you're gonna do. And I checked some YouTube videos on how to do it, and it always seems like crazy work. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that at all. So yeah, I'm very happy with this TV. Here it is. um, but yeah, I think I need to get rid of it because I got this one now. This popped up also on a online marketplace, and it was like not that far away from here. I was able to pick it up like 2 or 3 weeks ago or so. But this is also a Sony Triniton. I don't know the model number from, yeah, I'm not too sure what the model number is. It is a 21-inch though, and a flat screen. So it is smaller, but I do want to say this one looks way nicer. And all those settings like the geometry is actually yeah, pretty okay. There are some small issues, but yeah, they're small enough that I can actually ignore them. And yeah, it just looks very nice. It's less bulky, and I think in some instances I prefer like the flat screen, but I also like just with this one like the curvature. It has somewhat of a different look. But yeah, this one, I used it for a while now. Mostly played like Nia Gaiden Black on it, and I just really like it. Also, the sound is definitely a big improvement when I compare it to this one. So yeah, kind of upgraded, but upgraded in the sense that it is a smaller TV, but it just looks a little bit nicer, a little bit more modern. And I do want to say this model is actually quite similar to the model. It kind of matches up with a model that was used of the TV in the PlayStation 2 demo pod. Because that is also, if I'm correct, a 21-inch Sony Triniton. And just the final two numbers or so are different from when you compare it with this one. And why I'm saying that, I'm not too sure. I thought it was kind of like fascinating, like, oh, it's somewhat similar to the PlayStation 2 demo showcase, like the demo pod. And that made me remember that at some point I was actually able to get one of those for free. And I said, like, no. Kind of happy that I did, though, but it was also a free TV. But at the time I was really not looking into like CRT TVs. But yeah, now it's kind of overkill because this one is new. This one is sitting on the floor and I have no storage space. So yeah, I think I need to let it go. And yeah, either the option is to actually make some storage space so that I can still keep it in case that one actually breaks. But this one could break as well. And maybe I'm able to make someone else happy with this TV. So yeah, I will probably say goodbye to this TV and sell it. And yeah, maybe someone else is actually able to fix it up and take the time to make it like perfect. But yeah, this one needs to go because I do have like another one, a TV sitting on my desk. That's a TV that I use while streaming, like console games, and that's the TV that I look at, and it's a Sony Triniton, like a 14-inch, which is also a flat screen and a very nice one. Not able to show it right now, but yeah, the funny thing is when I got this one, I was very happy that I finally got a CRT, and then I saw the 14-inch maybe a week later or so pop up online, and they actually shipped it in a box for maybe 10 euros to me, and in the end I paid like 25 including shipping. It's an odd story, but then I ended up suddenly with like two CRTs, and it is very nice to have like a 14-inch. Like that image quality is super nice. And when I checked like the hours that it was used, it was maybe like in the 1000 or so, and that is not a lot for a CRT TV. So yeah, got a new CRT, very happy with that. Most of the stuff is hooked up, but I do need to change up my setup a little bit because I need to switch between like the 14-inch and the 21 now. And yeah, I need to look at that today, like how I'm gonna solve that issue because I do want to make use more of this one. That is the problem with this one. I rarely used it because my setup was always like on the 14-inch, but I kind of want to make it easily adjustable and that I can quickly connect it to one or the other. But that's maybe a separate video where I kind of show like how everything is set up with switching around and switching for the consoles and the stream setup. Because yes, I stream sometimes when I have the time. It's been a while since I've streamed, but I also capture footage with this setup. But again, that's a different video. So yeah, kind of want to have your opinion about this one. If you have any like 25-inch Sony Triniton, I know a lot of people are searching for it. But yeah, to me there are two options: either store it away or sell it. And it hurts, but I do think I need to sell it. Yeah, it did its job for a while. So yeah, there you have it. That is gonna do it. Thanks all for watching, and yeah, I do think like next week it's probably gonna be a very similar video with no footage, game footage, but maybe some random stuff because I do need to adjust a couple things here. There is another video that I've been working on, but that is a GameCube video. I've talked about it before because I do think I want to go for a full collection. And the problem with that video is that it is actually done, but it is 3 hours long. And it got out of hand. It is just a video of me going over like the top 10 most expensive GameCube titles, and based on that list, which games I still need to get from the top 10, and also the other games that I still need to get. So yeah, to me, it's kind of like an interesting video, but I do understand that people are like, no, 3 hours is definitely too long. Luckily, we do have like the chapters, but I need to render that video, and this is a silly thing, but I believe that I don't have enough disk space to render such a video. So that's also something that I need to work on. Anyway, for now, this is going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching, and also thanks for all the likes and subscribes in the last couple of weeks. I'm going to go and probably head to the CEX, trade in some games, go to the gym if I feel like it, and then do some game dev work. Have a nice weekend all, and see you all later. Bye.